What's up, everyone? Dr.D here, bringing you another DDR for Dummies, Dr.D's Tips and Tricks, if that's what the title is. I don't know, it's been a long time since I made one of these videos. I know I kind of promised after video 4 that I'd be churning these out a little bit faster, but that ended up not happening. However, I got some free time right now. I'm just going to churn out 5 of them in a row and just upload them maybe a day or two apart. So yeah, that should be a lot nicer. So I don't want to waste your time. Let's just get straight into today's tip. Today's tip is going to be about dealing with nerves and how to overcome nerves when you're playing a song and you're trying to get a score that you're desiring, whether it's AAA or a PFC or an MFC, whatever it might be. We always get nervous when we're playing a song, especially when we haven't been in that scenario many times, and you get nervous. Even veterans get nervous. Maybe they're on stage in a tournament, maybe it's just something, a lot's on the line for something, and even though they've done it 1,000 times, they just need it to go right this one time, and sometimes it doesn't go right. So how do we deal with our nerves when we're playing a song, and we're getting what we want to get, and then suddenly, disaster happens? Whether you had a brain fart and you just forgot what notes were coming, and you used the wrong foot, or you forgot the tempo, whether you forgot the speed gimmicks, stops, whatever it might be, you get nervous and you screw it up. So I want to talk about some things that I do to overcome nerves. And I'm going to start by talking about this kind of scenario. Tell me if you've ever been in this scenario. You're playing a song. You're getting the score that you want. And then suddenly, disaster happens and you screw it up. But then, the rest of the song, you completely nail it. So until that point, you felt the tension rising. The further along you got through the song, the more the tension was building, the more your nerves were building, because you were getting closer and closer to exactly what you wanted, and then you screwed it up. But then, the rest of the song, you don't have any nerves anymore, and you just nail it. It's pretty annoying, but it happens all the time. Usually, when you're trying to get a score, and sometimes when you're playing a song, maybe the first step, you might get a perfect or a great if that's not what you wanted, and that's what you get. You're like, oh. And then your nerves are gone, and you play the rest of the song, and you get everything. And you're like, wow, I got the first step, and then I screwed up everything else. Or maybe it was the first 10 or the first 50, it doesn't matter. Maybe early on, you screwed up what you were going for, and then the rest of the song, when you're not nervous, you're able to just do it. I'm not sure if there's a name for this kind of effect, but I'm confident that this doesn't only happen to me. It probably happens to most, if not all of you, where you're going for a song, you screw up early on, but then you nail all the other parts, especially if there's a hard part later. It's like, yeah, of course I get the hard part now because I got a grade early on or something like that. So how do we overcome that? Well, my trick, something that I've done, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I tell myself I screwed up. Now it sounds a little bit weird. Let me give you an example. So perhaps I'm doing the beginning, and maybe I did a part sloppy. Maybe it's an upright left, and I started it with my right foot. So I did a right. Sorry, I did an up to the right and then a left. It's going to be mirrored for you, but you get the point. And then I'm like, oh, that was sloppy. And then in my mind, oh, well, you screwed up. Even if I still got the marvelous combo. Because I think in my mind, you could have done better. You could have done better. So you screwed up. And I tend to find that when I do this, whether I still have what I'm going for or not, I feel more relaxed the rest of the song. Because when you keep, in your mind, you keep anticipating something to go wrong. So make up something that went wrong. Maybe you BS something, but you still got lucky and got what you wanted. There's plenty of times where I've BS'd and still had the desired score that I wanted to go for. Still active. So maybe you were a little sloppy with your footwork. Maybe you feel wow, you know what? I was kind of early on that step. I'm surprised it gave me a marvelous. And be like, oh, I screwed up. I should have got a perfect there. Even if you don't. So tell yourself you screwed up. Because if you can do this, especially early on, you'll tend to find that the nerves that you've had building up are going to go away. You're going to feel more relaxed the rest of the song. So that's my first tip, is tricking yourself, tricking your mind that whatever you were going for, you missed it, and to just play out the song like you normally would. Because when you do that, you're going to play out the song in a more relaxed and focused state of mind. So tricking yourself early on to make yourself think that you screwed up the desired result will end up making, it forces the outcome that I was talking about before, where we screw up when we don't want to, but then we nail everything else. To force that, even though you didn't screw up, tell yourself you did. Make an excuse. And if you can mimic the state of mind that you'll be in after that, as well as when you would normally truly screw up, if you can mimic that, then ideally you're going to finish just like you would have before. Alright, that's tip number 1 for overcoming nerves. We're going to keep this one in 10 minutes. Let's go. Tip number 2, it's a lot shorter, a lot easier. A lot of times people screw up at the very end of the song. And usually it's always the last step, especially if there's like a long pause before the last step. Maybe we get a little excited and we want to go extra hard and we rush that last step. Maybe, if there's a pause, we're getting nervous, we lose the count and we screw it up. These can all be possibilities. Either way, a lot of people are prone to missing the last step. So how do we overcome this? Easy. Pretend that that's not the last step. It works especially well when songs keep the music going at the end. But a lot of songs, especially if you're playing on expert or challenge or even difficult, a lot of times you're doing 8th notes into the end, right? Right? But instead of doing do do an extra quarter measure, do an extra few steps. Pretend like that's not the last step. Pretend like the last step is somewhere else. This is kind of going into the ghost stepping aspect, and that's going to be one of the topics I'm going to cover very soon. Ghost stepping is a big topic I'm going to cover. But the point is, someone's on Discord, which, by the way, you guys should definitely join my Discord. That's a perfect plug. Alright, Burnout, I'm going to have to mute you. So yeah, just make sure that you pretend that the steps go further than what you're supposed to. It's a little harder when it ends on a jump, but especially if it goes into 8th notes or whatever, just keep the ghost stepping up and just play through it. Don't end on it. There's a lot of anticipation and build up if you know that that's the last step and you're trying to hit that. But if you treat it as if it was any other step you were hitting before, you'll find that you're going to have a lot less issues nailing the last steps. Alright, so those are my 2 tips for today for overcoming nerves. I might have a follow-up topic for if I think of anything else for overcoming nerves in the future. But hopefully these 2 things will help you get that MFC, the PFC, or even the AA+, or whatever you are going for. Just, this is definitely a mental thing. If your physical game is on and you're finding yourself not making the goals that you want, and it's mental, and it's probably due to nerves. So hopefully these 2 tips are going to help you overcome those nerves. And yeah, this is the first time I'm filming a video like this. Let me know if you liked it. Chat in my Discord, links are down below, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Thanks for being patient, and I'm going to churn out a lot more of these pretty soon. Alright guys, peace, bye-bye.